Hello and welcome to the road to episode 8, my ongoing series where I'll chart the road to the release of Star Wars episode 8 in May 2017. Look kind of familiar? Yeah, so it's a new series. It's a new, gonna be 15-month long series charting the road to the release of Star Wars episode 8. But the thing is, I'm kind of not done with The Force Awakens yet. We kind of need to talk about Episode 7 in all of its glory, in all of its raw, unashamed fan service, and all the things that happen in the film, which won't be discussed in this video. This is the spoiler-free review. But yeah, I realised when I filmed my reaction, going to the midnight screening of The Force Awakens, that this is it. This is the end of the road to episode 7. I can't continue calling this the road to episode 7 when it's over. I've seen the film. The road was complete. The journey is complete. But now there's reflection time and things to talk about when it comes to The Force Awakens. And episode 8 is intrinsically linked to episode 7 because we're going to get, you know, the continuation of the story that we saw in The Force Awakens. So the beginning of the road to episode 8 is going to have a lot of stuff about The Force Awakens. I have a lot of things planned, including this video, which is the spoiler-free review. There'll be the heavy spoiler discussion, where I've got so much to say. I'm going to review the score as well. I have a lot to say about that. There is a theory about something that happens in the film that I'm going to make a whole video about. I really feel very passionately about it, so I'm going to make a video about that. And I'm also going to make another video about another theory about The Force Awakens, and I'm going to make one about the common reactions to the film, which really bothers me, and I'm going to go full into why I think that is just a bullshit reason to not like the film. But, you know, I'm going to get hate for that, because you go, oh, you're one of those Star Wars nerds who just, you know, you think it's a perfect film and you're just blinded by by everything. No, it's not the case. I really strongly believe in my thoughts on the big kind of problem people have with The Force Awakens. I just don't think it holds as much water as people think it does. Anyway, I'll get to that in another video, because even if I mention what that is, it might spoil something, and this needs to be spoiler free. So very briefly, I loved the film. I had a great time going to see it. I got one of the collector's cups at Cineworld. I decided to go for the Rey one. I'll show you a little clip actually of me with the cup and the ticket just before I was going in to see the film. It's a nice cup with some cool images that are sometimes upside down, sometimes sideways, all over the place. At first I thought the logo was misprinted, but it's just like a kind of a very pop art kind of inspired thing. You've got the Force Awakens there on the bottom and the other side, and then you have Rey there, which comes out as a kind of a little figure there. It's not the best figure, you know. I mean, if you look at the eyes, it's just eyes. Looks nothing like Daisy Ridley at all, but it's still kind of cool, and I want to get this one. The Kylo Ren one looked really cool, and maybe I'll get one next week and get another one because I really like them. And they're quite cheap as well. I wasn't expecting them to be quite cheap, so that's why I got it, and just to mark the occasion. I haven't got a Force Awakens t-shirt, I haven't got a Force Awakens poster, I've got no merchandise whatsoever, so I thought I'll get one of the collector's cups. But I won't collect all of them because that's just ridiculous. To me anyway, I can't spend that kind of money. Well, it wouldn't even be that expensive, but still, I just, yeah, one or two, maybe three. I really like the BB-8 one as well. Anyway, so I went to the midnight screening. Was a little worried because of, you know, theatre shootings. If some nutter is going to want to take out the most people, Star Wars is like the biggest film of the past, you know, like 10, 15 years. It would be the optimal place to strike, and so I was kind of worried about that, but I just thought I'll keep vigilant, keep my eyes open. And there were people going into this midnight screening with full masks and hoods over their heads. There was security there. They didn't check anyone. A couple of guys walked in with guitar cases. They didn't check what was inside. I mean, again, I just thought, really? You've got security and you're not checking? I don't know, it bothered me, but it was fine in the end. But I think it's better to be safe than sorry. I had it in my mind just in case. But I was glad obviously nothing happened, and I enjoyed the film. It felt a bit weird at the beginning. When the crawl came up, it was just like, no, this doesn't even, it didn't feel real. It felt like, I honestly for a brief moment thought, is this like a joke or something? It didn't quite look at how I imagined the crawl would look. I mean, it's the last time I saw a Star Wars film in the cinema was, I think, The Phantom Menace, and that wasn't very memorable, and then before that it was 10 years ago. And so I just, is this how I remember it? You know, but it started, and then the opening shot, wow. The opening shot was fantastic, and again, very briefly, I loved the film. In terms of ranking the films, which I think is kind of an arbitrary thing, but it's kind of fun to kind of think about, I would put it at least as my third favourite Star Wars film, at least. Maybe even second, but probably third. And I won't tell you the order because it'll probably change in the future anyway, but I loved it. It was fantastic. It wasn't without its flaws, of course, but I don't see as many flaws as other people. And again, I'll get into those in the spoiler-filled review. This is just a brief one to tell you that I love the film. If you haven't seen it, you need to go and see it. If you're a Star Wars fan, you owe it to yourself to see it in the cinema. I've been watching clips of it online that have been filmed in the cinema. I've been watching pirated versions of Star Wars because I've already paid to see it. I'm going to pay to go see it again, and I just wanted to see even like potato quality versions of some of the scenes just to relive the of it, you know. And if you saw my past video, I actually recorded the whole film on my phone. I recorded the audio just in case there were good audience reactions, and I kind of scrolled through to the bits that were really funny, and it was cool to hear us and hear me laughing at some of the really funny bits in the film, and then the applause at the end. People applauded at the end. It was like, you know, the film ended, the credits were rolling. Well, they weren't rolling because it's Star Wars, so it's just up on the, you know, with the stars and stuff. The credits had started, and then it was just kind of like a... Is that there? Is that there? Is that there? And then another person was like... And I just went... And then other people started, and then it just a chain reaction, everyone just started applauding, and it was just like, yeah. And I'd never experienced that before. I'm sure many people have, and in America it's a common thing, but I'd never experienced that before, and it just felt such a great end to the whole experience. It was just like, yeah, thank you for that. You know, as a Star Wars fan, it had everything I wanted, and even more. For me, the standout of the film is the acting. I think, honestly, top to bottom, it has the best acting of the entire series. Now, Empire Strikes Back is my favourite film of all time, but I would hazard, well, I would say that there's probably only 3 to 4, maybe 5 like great performances in it. Maybe not even that. I mean, I'd say Han, Leia, Luke, and Yoda. You know, those 4 characters are fantastic in The Empire Strikes Back. But The Force Awakens, you got 6. There's 6 characters in the film who I think just absolutely were just incredible, and particularly the main 3. The main 3, Kylo Ren, Rey, and Finn, the acting was phenomenal from all 3 of them, and all 3 of those characters are so different and so complex. I suppose Rey and Finn have a lot in common, but still, they have very different journeys, very different stories to their characters, and there was so much emotion in the film that I was not expecting. I didn't get me emotional, but just seeing their emotion, which was powerful. I did get emotional during the film. Tears welled up in my eyes maybe 3 or 4 times. It was usually related to the fact that they piped in some of the music from the old films, which really just brought me back to being a kid, but also it kind of worked within the context of the scene. It wasn't like... you know, oh, okay, so we're just going to make a movie about the Knights of the Old Republic 1,000 years before Star Wars. Okay, here we go. Let's just put in Han and Leia's theme. We'll put Luke's theme in there. It's got nothing to do with those characters. We'll just use it because it's cool music. It wasn't that. The cool music was used, but it was used in a way that made sense and fit with the story, which was great. I didn't want it to be overused or overdone or just put there for the sake of it because it's a nostalgia trip. It had to be there when it needed to be. Those kind of old scores. The score itself, I found underwhelming, to be honest, but I couldn't really pay attention because the film is very fast-paced, lots of action. But as I thought more about it, the theme at the end really got to me. And I got the score, it came out, I got the score, I've been listening to it. I'm really liking it. It's not like as great as the original trilogy, I'll say that right away. I might even say some of the scores for the prequels are better, but there are some themes in it, like Rey's theme. Oh, I love Rey's theme. There's something so different and cool about it, and kind of innocent and childlike, and then kind of uplifting. And I loved Snoke's theme. That was very cool, very reminiscent of the Emperor. And then the end theme, which I won't tell you what it's called because that kind of spoils the end of the film. But the end theme, oh, I love that one. So yeah, overall, the new cast were brilliant. They worked well with the old cast. I liked the story. It was fun. It was exciting. There was always something happening, and it felt like Star Wars. I know people are saying it didn't, but just some of the practical effects, the aliens that just looked fantastic, the locations. I mean, like the TIE fighter that crashes, and it's a full TIE fighter right there. The Rebel base, the Resistance base, you know, that was all there, including the Falcon. I was like, holy shit, you know. I was getting these kind of like, oh god, that's all real. And that is what, you know, what really makes it. And maybe some of the CGI stands out a little bit, but you gotta kind of, I mean, there's things that the Millennium Falcon does in that big chase scene at the on Jakku that we've seen in the trailer. It does a few things that you just wouldn't be able to do with a model that would kind of look realistic. And so I understand why they've done that, and I think it works. I really do. And yeah, I don't think I've been blinded by the hoopla of it. I don't think I've been, because I've been anticipating it for so long, that I'm kind of blindly have goggles on that make me think that it's amazing. It's not a perfect film. There are flaws to it. There are things that I think could have been done better or differently. I'll talk about them in the future. But overall, I absolutely adored it. The ending, I can't even talk about it because then it would give away something. But let's just say I love the ending, and I never thought, if someone had told me the ending before the film, I would have been like, what have they done? What have they done? And I saw it, and I knew it was happening, and I was like, no, don't do this, don't do this. And then they did it, and then I was like, okay, it was great. It was like, I just was so conflicted, but it was like, that was the right move. That was the right move. And it was just, it was the perfect ending. Perfect ending. It leads right into episode 8, and I can't wait to see how the story continues. And I want to see the continuation of all the characters, all the main characters that were introduced in the film. BB-8, who was an amazing guy. BB-8 was fantastic, such a fun character, so funny. Finn was great. You know, Rey was another level. Kylo Ren was Kylo Ren for me. I don't know, like best written villain of the whole series. I mean, I know Vader is like up on that pedestal and stuff, but his character was so much more interesting than Darth Vader. As cool as Darth Vader is, Kylo Ren is that much more interesting. And if his kind of momentum as a character continues and gets better in 8 and 9, you're looking at the best villain of the whole Star Wars series, in my opinion. I think there's so much potential there, and everything that happened with Kylo Ren in the film was phenomenal. Like, just pitch perfect. Don't mess this up, Rian Johnson, and I got a funny feeling he won't. So this is the beginning of the road to episode 8. I'll talk about stuff like what we know about episode 8. Obviously, I guess I'll mention it now. They started filming in September. They went to Ireland. They filmed some stuff with certain actors, and I'll talk about that in the future. But once you've all seen the film, which makes total sense. And in January, they're starting principal photography as far as I'm concerned. And it's going to be, I'm wondering if they're going to be able to get the film kind of, you know, done in time, because they've only got 15 months now. But I guess they've already started. Rian Johnson was on set at episode 7, and so he's been very involved with the making of episode 7 and kind of bridging that gap between 7 and 8. So I'm really excited about that. Rian Johnson's one of my favorite directors at the moment. You know, he directed Looper, which is a fantastic film. He directed some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, including Ozymandias, which I think is the best episode of television I have ever seen, and it's such an emotional episode of television. So Rian Johnson working with these actors to get more emotions out in episode 8 is going to be awesome. It really is, and I'm really excited for it. And yeah, it's going to be another road. 15 months down the line, episode 8, and I feel like this one could be even better. But it won't be as special as episode 7, because it just won't, because it's not going to be the first time that we see Luke Skywalker in a film since The Return of the Jedi. You know, we did see him in The Force Awakens. That's not a spoiler. You know, it's not going to be the first time we see, you know, a new Star Wars film that's more to what we like. It's, you know, that kind of, it's been broken now. You know, when we see episode 8, it'll be the next film from The Force Awakens. It won't be the first Star Wars film that's going to be great that we haven't seen in 30 years. You know, it's I'm really looking forward to it, but this special kind of feeling that this week has had, it's never coming back, and that's kind of sad. I do feel sad. I almost wish that I wish I haven't seen The Force Awakens. I wish I hadn't have seen The Force Awakens, I should say, to get grammatically correct and not stutter. I mean, yeah, just talking about this makes my brain just not get the words out right. But yeah, I wish that I hadn't seen it, and it was coming out in a few more weeks, because it's like that build up to Christmas, you know. It's great being a week away from Christmas, and then once Christmas is over, it's like, oh, you know. So yeah, but I can't wait to see it again. I might be going to see it tomorrow with my little brother, and then I'll probably definitely see it next week at least a couple more times. I mean, I need to solidify my thoughts before I do a spoiler review, because I basically want to go through the entire movie beat for beat and tell you everything I liked and didn't like. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to the rest of the road to episode 8. And yeah, that is about it. Thanks for watching.